Yo, what's up guys, this is Rohit and I hope you all are doing great. And today I'll be checking out the brand new Dethonray Clarinet. So this is a portable DAC and amp combo that's packing some serious gear inside. And I think this should definitely be in your upgrade lists if you're searching for a portable solution to getting that pure and clean sound on the go without breaking the bank. And to make things even more interesting, we'll also see how it stacks up against my very own iFi Hip DAC 3. Now real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Aural Cafe for sending out the Clarinet for a review, but they haven't paid me a single rupee to say anything special about this DAC, so as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. And I'll also link their Facebook community page down in the video description, so make sure to check them out, show them some love as you won't be disappointed. And now back to the video. So let's start by talking about the build and design. The Clarinet has that simple yet elegant design language with an all aluminum chassis that honestly feels like a tank, but it also has these sharp edges and corners that you definitely need to look out for. So I'd recommend getting something like this leather case that I found on AliExpress. It's not that expensive at all, and you can definitely get that to protect yourselves and the Clarinet at all times. So at the back you get two USB Type-C ports, one for data and the other for charging, and this is what you typically use for connecting the DAC to your PCs and your smartphones. But something that's even more interesting is the fact that the Clarinet also has an optical and coaxial input port right at the front. So if you have, let's say, an optical SPDIF cable, you can have it connected to one of these included converters like so, and then you can hook up the Clarinet to a variety of other sources like taps that can take an advantage of such an input jack. However, the source of optical connection that I have at the moment being my PC's motherboard back there, it isn't the cleanest of signals to start with. So in the upcoming section where I talk about the sound quality of this DAC, just wanted to let you guys know that everything that I'll be saying is based entirely upon the Type-C digital connection. Now at its heart, the Clarinet is powered by the 4493S DAC chip from AKM, which is quite well known for providing a very natural yet detailed sound signature with a tad bit of musical touch to it, and it also provides it with a very low distortion rate. And this is the primary DAC chip that takes care of decoding all the input connections coming through your Type-C digital input. So if you're planning to use the Clarinet via the optical or coaxial input jack in the front, just know that there's another DAC chip which is AK4118A if I'm not wrong, which is actually an op-amp that will take care of the decoding aspect. Also, this being the very first time that I'm trying out an AKM DAC chip, I have to say I was really impressed by how the Clarinet performs. So we'll definitely talk more about it when we get to the sound experience part, but before that, let's quickly talk about the power and the battery backup of this DAC. So the Clarinet comes with both a 3.5mm unbalanced output jack along with a 4.4mm balanced jack, and both of these have an RMS output power of 2 volts at 32 ohms. But to be honest with you guys, I've actually never seen a DAC out there that provides the same power output for both of its ports. It's usually the 4.4mm output jack that provides you more power, isn't it? So this kind of raises the question whether the 4.4mm port of the Clarinet is actually a balanced one to begin with. I'll definitely make sure to ask Dethonray about it. You'll find an update in the pinned comment down below. But in the meantime, if we keep this to the side for the time being, I'm going to say that both these ports are quite powerful enough to drive most of your IEMs out there, and even some full-size headphones like Sennheiser's HD series or others that are not that demanding in the first place. You do also get an inbuilt battery with this DAC that provides you all the power and avoids unnecessarily draining your smartphone's batteries, so that's again a good thing. And I'm gonna say you get a backup of around 6 to 7 hours with the Clarinet, but it also heavily depends on what you're actually driving with this DAC. Alright, now let's talk sound, because this is where I found the Clarinet to be all about that clarity and authenticity that this one is heavily marketed for. And after trying out this DAC with pretty much every IEM that I have in my arsenal right now, I can safely say that this one is definitely worth every penny. The sound experience that you get with this DAC ends up being very pure and true to life, with the bass being tight and full of texture, the mid-range being beautifully open and layered, and the treble response is being presented to you with so much richness and clarity that I don't think it would be wise to ask for any more details in my opinion. That's how good it is. In fact, the entire frequency range is full of details and clarity, and that again is presented to you with zero signs of harshness. So that is definitely saying something, isn't it? In terms of soundstage, I'm gonna say that the Clarinet definitely provides you with that 3D holographic experience that I'm really a big fan of. And in terms of timbre, I also think that this performs really well, having that very natural and soothing touch in all of the frequencies in the spectrum. And thanks to having an ultra low noise floor with the Clarinet, you won't be getting any of those annoying static noises in any of your IEMs, even the most sensitive ones. So that's again a really good thing. Alright, so now let's talk about how the Clarinet holds up against my iFi Hip DAC 3. The Hip DAC 3 to me feels a lot warmer, adding a thicker and musical aspect to its sound signature while not sacrificing the details, especially in the low end. And thanks to the presence of iFi's legendary Burr Brown DAC chip inside the Hip DAC 3, you get a very cozy and natural texture that's added to the tonality of your IEMs and your headphones. So I think the Hip DAC 3 makes for a very forgiving DAC and amp combo that literally makes even average sounding ears sound really awesome. The Clarinet, on the other hand, is more on the neutral and analytical side. You're able to hear almost all the imperfections and micro details with this DAC. So the sound is definitely cleaner in this one, and in some ways it is also a lot more technical compared to the iFi Hip DAC 3. So I'm gonna say the Clarinet is definitely suited towards seasoned audiophiles who don't just listen to their music but also want to extract everything out of their IEMs and headphones. Now in terms of power output, I think both of these are capable enough to drive most of your full-sized headphones out there, but the Hip DAC 3 definitely takes the lead here for having a massive output of 6.3 volts from its balance jack, which I think makes the Hip DAC 3 the most obvious choice if you want to carry something powerful enough to drive even some power-hungry planers out there. So in my opinion, if you're after that clean and reference-grade sound signature in a truly portable package, the Clarinet definitely delivers big time. It's small, it's powerful and detailed, and as I said earlier, it's kind of built like a tank. Compared to the Hip DAC 3, it's definitely a step up in terms of refinement, but also a bit less fun if you ask me, if you want a thicker and bassier sound signature. And at the end of the day, I also think that it also boils down to which sound preference you give the most priority to. So do I think that the Clarinet is better than the Hip DAC 3? Of course it is. But does it mean that I'm upgrading the Hip DAC 3 to this one? No. This will always be a keeper. So thanks again to Aural Cafe for letting me experience the Dethonray Clarinet. It's no doubt an engineering masterpiece that I really fell in love with. So in my opinion, if you can get your hands on one, it's definitely worth a listen. So I guess that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, by the way, and I'll be seeing you all in my next one.